We begin this news hour in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there have been widespread violent clashes between security forces and protesters demanding that President Joseph Kabila leave power. At least 5 people have been killed and a number of others have been wounded. The demonstrations have been banned by the authorities, and they are reported to have taken place in several of the country's major cities, including Kinshasa, Kisangani, and Bukavu. In the capital, Kinshasa, police used tear gas to disperse protesters, and United Nations peacekeepers are reported to have been deployed to try to keep demonstrators and the security forces apart. President Kabila has been in power since 2001 and was supposed to step down after his second and final term came to an end in 2016. Under a deal reached more than a year ago, he should have been gone by the end of 2017, but that has not happened. Instead, the election to replace him, originally planned for 2016, has now been delayed until December 2018. Well, for more on today's developments in the DRC, I'm joined now live from our London studios by the leader of the Congolese opposition in the UK and Europe, Okito Tongomo. Okito, I hope you can hear me. Good to talk with you from Nigeria here. We understand there have been clashes between protesters and police. How bad were these altercations?
Thank you very much, Charlie. The situation is very, very dramatic at the moment. As you heard in the news, what is happening is seriously unacceptable. That the security force has used, again, excessive level of force to kill civilians during a very peaceful protest. People are just asking for Mr. Kabila to respect the constitution and step down. We are now in a position that the country is chaotic. Nothing is working. Since the end of the year, the Catholic and including all different church and the different organizations in the country, they are just asking Mr. Kabila to step down and to respect the value of the constitution. Let me mention one more thing, Charles. I think you know about this. Mr. Kabila was given a year to stay in the office, just an extension time for him to organize election. And this is the man who's got no intention to organize election. He felt all the principles given to him. He breached all the accords, including the constitution. Speaking now is using force and the military regime that he has imposed in the country and the killing civilians. The situation is completely unacceptable.
Okay, well, these protests, Okito, were of course technically illegal, weren't they? Because the Congolese authorities banned the marches and did not give any formal permission for these demonstrations to take place. So you must have known, the opposition must have known, that there would be clashes, given that similar demonstrations 3 weeks ago resulted in people dying as well.
I think that's not the case, Charlie. Let me clarify on that one. The Constitution clearly mentioned the freedom of expression, including freedom of protest, have to be respected. No one can refuse that. It's a strategy that government has been refusing the protesters since. Everybody knows the reason they don't want people to protest. At the moment, they don't have a legitimacy. They have become illegal governments. They are now in a position of weakness, so they cannot accept the freedom in the country. There's nothing nobody gonna tell me today that the government is really refusing something which is the right for citizens to protest. This is something we have to really clarify more better. People just are using what is really part of their freedom and a part of the constitution, the right of expression. So the government is going to have the right to refuse that. We have to clarify the situation. The government just has been unable to accept the respect of the constitution and to give people freedom what they really deserve. And that have to stop now. This government have to go. We are calling for the international community to use the Second Amendment, which is a really United Kingdom, part of the signature of the position to help the Congolese people from the hand of a dangerous criminal regime.
Well, I mean, Okito, you and I have spoken several times in London and elsewhere. I mean, you've been making this call for an exceedingly long time. There have been lots of protests from your opposition, lots of lives lost as well. But are you any nearer to getting President Kabila out of office?
Thank you very much. That is a very good question. We are now in a position to get Mr. Kabila in office by anyhow. We respect what the Catholic churches are doing at the moment, but we are also calling the international community to come and support this. I think you know what is happening. We have a different protest that we put in place at the moment. We are now claiming, all the Congolese around the globe, we are seeking for the international community to stop any diplomatic relation with Mr. Kabila. And that is now our position. The London embassy is already in a serious problem that we believe very soon we're going to have more action around Europe. We are now calling Mr. Kabila to step down. He cannot represent any Congolese. It's illegal government. We've been working hard. People's lives are precious, and I really feel it difficult all the time to come in the studio, where I have all the time to seek justice and calling for Mr. Kabila to respect people's life. Today, I don't even know where to start. I cannot even repeat myself, sending condolence message to the family of those people being killed, to the political party those people belonged, to the family and the community those people really should be happy during this time of the year. And just seeking justice, calling for the regime to respect the value of the Constitution, and they have to be killed by somebody who claimed to be the leader, who claimed to be the president, even though we know that legitimately is not supposed to be there. So, Charles, I'm again repeating this, and I have to insist. It's time for all over the world. I know you're in Africa, you're in Nigeria, and this is a very good time for me to speak about this issue for all other leaders around the globe to listen to this, including our community and the people around the globe, especially those in Africa, to listen. African Union have to play a very strong position on this issue. We know that African Union, they are watching what is happening in Congo, and they are witnessing what is happening. We got credible information on the breach of freedom, including this permanent massacre that Congolese people have been victim by a criminal regime, an illegal regime, and all the planners are watching this. I think it's time for anyone who can help Congolese people to work with us to make sure that we can save people's life from the hand of a criminal.
Just to get a better picture of what is happening in the DRC, I mean, what sort of impact is this political impasse having across the country? Because we understand the protests today were not limited to Kinshasa, but also took place in places like Kisangani and Bukavu and so on. And also particularly in places like central Kasai, where we hear that millions of people, including lots of children, are facing starvation and famine-like conditions.
It's dramatic. The situation at the moment we're talking, Charles, we are really in a position to call for everybody to listen to this, and it's time to help Congolese people from the hand of the criminal. We're talking about a country, the whole country today was really ready to call Mr. Kabila to resign. The whole even a small city in a small village, people were protesting. Everybody went to the church first. After the prayer, they come out from the church, the priests, including pastors, and everybody who has got some moral duty. They were all with the people, walking freely in the city. Nobody was armed. These are civilians. These are the people, really, simple, ordinary citizens, calling just for justice, calling for the respect of the Constitution. This happened all 8 major cities of the Congo, including the very small part of the Congo. I can name some of them here for you today. In Mbujimayi, we got more than 300 people there, and even the people going through starvation, as you mentioned earlier, in Kananga. And we got people from Loja, from small city of Tingitingi, people from Bukavu, from Goma, from Katanga, from we're talking about Bandunduville, we're talking about Kikwiti, we're talking about Idiofa, we're talking about Boma, we're talking about Matadi, we're talking about all Congolese city were today in action. We've been talking to many people. We have received video of people being killed. We have received image of people being shot down by the National Special Force of the Presidential Special Force. This is really unacceptable. These are ordinary citizens. And we're calling now for an emergency situation and action to be taken to save life in Congo.
Okay. Okito, I want to thank you very much indeed. I know you were organising protests in London, and you actually took the time to come and be on this programme this evening. Okito Tongomo, who is the leader of the opposition, the DRC opposition in the UK and across Europe, thank you very much indeed.